Hey everyone, my name's Hugo, and half of Sell Quick, Ship Quick. Today I want to talk about relisting. So it's been a crazy week for us. We've had all kinds of things. Again, we have multiple businesses, so we've been busy in a little bit of everything. What that translates to for our reselling is sometimes we don't have time to go and take new pictures and put up the new items. So at the very least, we relist. Relisting allows you to basically refresh these items that are listed on your platforms. Even eBay that automatically relists your item technically is not that fresh. If you really want fresh items on eBay, you have to go in and either manually sell similar and delete your previous one, or just do a complete relist. Preferably, we do it with a cross-listing platform. Now, cross-listing platforms, we use Vendu. There's also Flip, great tools. There's other ones out there. Now, the key thing that I want to talk about is their delisting and relisting features. This makes relisting on multiple platforms very easy. Now, when you relist, the key thing is honestly take the time to look over your items. Don't just blindly relist them. Sure, you might have an amazing list of keywords and everything that when you originally listed, but maybe that was, I don't know, normally more than 30 days ago, 60, sometimes 90 days ago. So are the keywords you used 30, 60, 90 days ago relevant today, especially with trends that change so quickly? How about the pricing? Is the pricing that you put on it from 30, 60, 90 plus days ago current? Prices change, the market changes. So with that, if your listings aren't being relisted and adjusting for the changes, then you're going to be left out. You're going to be ignored because you're no longer an accurate listing. So how we relist, we use Vendu. So we go in and we delist an item. So we'll normally go through, and on Vendu, you can see what's your oldest listing. So you could do that to classify, or really just go over onto your main platform. In our case, it's eBay, and we will sort by date, and we can see what are the older listings on there. And we can see they're not really getting any traction. What we do is we go in there and relist. We'll search the item in our Vendu inventory list, and we'll go through and delist it on all platforms. If we're going to relist on eBay, we might as well relist on everything. And again, if we're going to relist, we're going to do a full check. So we go through and we look up comps on the item again. We want to make sure our price is accurate and competitive. Then we make sure our shipping, for example, some items are better off free shipping, some are not. Some have a standard shipping rate that seems to go on. So we want to, again, be competitive. The other thing we do is we search through the keywords. We want to make sure we have all the right keywords. In some cases, we realized back then we might have used words that are no longer relevant, or we used a billion different ways of saying small, for example. Whatever it is, we went in, we go in, clean up the title, make sure it's nice and neat. And again, eBay, we're not fans of it, but eBay has a ton of item specifics, some which are required. So what we do is we make sure all the required item specifics are taken care of. We'll go in and make sure they're all set. Why? Because again, happy platform, happy buyers, happy sellers. And then we go through and check all that, and then we relist. Now again, if we're relisting on eBay, why not relist on everything else? And when we're using something like Vendu, we go through and relist on everything. So we'll go through and do the same for Poshmark, Mercari, No More Tradesy, it's Vistier, Depop, and Kittison. So sometimes Grail. So we go through and we do exactly the same thing. Why? We got to make sure we check comps on all platforms, because certain items, whether you knew it or not, sell differently on the different platforms. Some items sell a little bit better on Poshmark than eBay, and likewise, some sell better on eBay than Poshmark. So the comps are not always the same. And also on Poshmark, for example, we have automation that goes through and sends out offers and everything. So we got to make sure our price is going to be adjusted for the offers that automatically go out. So again, we want to be sure that our listing is accurate and competitive. Some of the other benefits to doing your relist is basically doing a mini inventory check. So again, when you're going through, you want to make sure one, you still have the item, especially if you cross list. So again, when we use Vendu and we do delist, if the item is actually sold on one of the platforms, an error message comes out. So delist and it says, hey, I can't delist on Poshmark. I'll go check the link. Sure enough, oh, it's sold on Poshmark. Forgot to delist on everything. Yes, it's a concern when you cross list. It's a real thing that happens sometimes, but it's part of the business. But yeah, so that'll help me figure out, oops, good thing I caught that. Go in, delist everywhere where it's supposed to be off, and label it as sold where it should be. Also, sometimes that's where I'll find out, whoa, our SKU number is missing. Had this item sold, I wouldn't know where to find it. So relisting helps us catch little mistakes that can be big problems later on. So again, to recap, relisting is a great way to keep an active store when you don't have time to do new pictures, new listings, and all those details. Relisting can be done really from anywhere, especially with all these new features we have. Whether you do it manually on eBay, you can do it from your phone. If you do it using things like Vendu, Vendu now has ventured out to help make things a little bit easier on mobile or your laptop, wherever you are. So again, if you're real busy, go in and just do these relists because your items are going to come out as new. So on the platform, you know you've had this Free People shirt for a few months, but when you relist it, the system's going to say, hey, buyers, we got a new listing for a Free People shirt. They're not going to know. It's been there for a while. Now, again, the only way they're not going to know is if you go in and you make some edits. Now, if you're putting the identical thing up, this algorithms are smart enough to start picking up. They're like, this looks familiar. So again, make some tweaks. Sometimes people go in and just change the orders of the pictures. Whatever you have to do to make things look a little different helps. But again, this is all to help you, one, keep up listings even when you don't have time to put up new listings. And even if you do have time for new listings, consider relisting every day to keep your items fresh and relevant. And if you say you're able to do 10 to 20 new listings in a day, that's pretty awesome. But how awesome is it to quickly do some relists, do 5 to 10 relists a day? Now your systems, your platforms, are going to look and say, hey, we got about 20 to 30 new listings per day. Even though technically about 10 of those are not new. But it's, again, a great way for your items to stay fresh, stay relevant, stay competitive, because ultimately we're not in the storage business. These are not for fun. We're trying to get these items out. If we have empty bins, that's exciting. Also means we're going to fill them up. So hopefully this helps, especially for those who feel like they don't have time to put up new listings. If you have any questions or if you have any certain methods that you use for relisting, maybe you have a certain number you like to do, let me know in the comments. And also, if you want to get a hold of us real quick, head on over to Instagram where you can find us at Sell Quick, Ship Quick. DM us. We've had people send us voice message questions there. We do our best to answer everything we can because, you know what, we learned by selling and making mistakes, but also from other content creators, and we really appreciate it when those content creators answer their questions, and we kind of want to pay it forward. And if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer, or at least guide you or point you to the right direction. And again, if you feel you enjoy this video or you'd rather listen to it, we're also available in podcast form, really in anywhere you listen to your podcast. And if you're listening to us on podcast, head on over to YouTube and check out what we look like. I'm not even going to describe it. If you're listening, you're going to have to go look for me and see what I look like. I wonder if you think I look like what I sound like. I don't know. But all in all, thank you everyone for watching. Hope this helped. And yeah, see you next week.